Okay, we're back. All right, just got a couple of things here. Like I said, I was kind of really frustrated that the stem inside this spinner, which is very crucial to giving you the effect, because if it wobbles, it looks really bad on the model, and it stands out when it wobbles bad. And not only that, it causes other problems. It could be a problem where when round two is pulling this from their mold, this piece here where it has no support and it's still hardening from after coming out of the mold, begins to sag as it's drying. So maybe if they can somehow set that up where, you know, if it's drying like this and it's still soft, that's going to dip, which seems to be what's happening. But anyway, I'm sure they've probably already got a solution for that, and their future kits are going to not have that issue. But anyway, what I decided to do, the quick fix to this is you're going to need a 1/4 inch piece of brass tubing. You can get it at any hobby store, K&S brass. You don't want it tight fitting over the post. You want it to have a bit of play, and you want to be able to slip it down over the post, just like that. And the idea of this is we're going to heat the tube, and there is a way of doing it so that you don't melt the plastic stem, and you don't want the brass piece to soften up this area and have it come through the front end. Wouldn't be a good thing. But you know, if it did, not a big deal. There is a way to fix that. I just haven't thought of it yet, but I do have something in mind in case that ever happened. But this is what I did basically. Taking your solder iron, you can use a pistol control, or you can use a regular iron. What you want to do is you want to heat the brass using the tip, and just kind of heat it up and start getting the heat going. Once you do, start moving it up and down the post, either side. You just keep doing it until the whole entire post begins to heat up. Once it heats up, you're just gonna want to take your tube. You can take the end of your solder if you want to, and you're gonna see that it's gonna move. Now, you don't want to push it all the way because the whole thing will move. And you don't want to leave it there too long. Once you get a bit of play, then you want to center it. Now, you may have to eyeball it. All I did was eyeball it. I'm kind of used to doing this, working on radio-controlled battleships and things like that. I'm used to kind of doing this kind of thing. But you can even hold it directly towards you using your mat as a guide, and you can just eyeball it and center it. Or, as you move it, you could drop it in between your vise and center it. Make sure you got enough clearance, because you only got a few seconds to do this, and you can shift it left and right, back and forth. Some people would put it this way and kind of adjust it left and right, up and down. Once you've done that and you think you've got it lined up pretty good, you can just give it a little spin on your vise. You could even hold it here like that and kind of spin it, you know, even hold it up like that and just kind of eyeball it. You can measure it from either side. Keep in mind though, even if you get it perfect all around here and you still get a wobble, don't be surprised you do, because the actual motor stem, the little shaft from the motor itself, let's see if I can get that into camera here, that little shaft that you can see there, just barely, if I get used to the camera angles, that actually does wobble a little bit. Okay, so you're not going to get it 100%, but you can certainly alleviate it. So you can either go from this angle, or you can straighten it up. Keep in mind, once it does heat up, once you do heat that tube, it's going to be hot, so you don't want to grab it with your fingers. You just grab it with your tool and pull it out right away, and just set it down and let that cool. Set it down and just let that cool. And it doesn't take long, it only takes a few seconds. Once it cools, you want to test fit it over the shaft. And if you find you can't get in there, just take your small round file and just slowly just clear out the space. Clear out the space inside. And once you've done that, then test fit it, slip it over, and then turn it on, check the spin, and see how well it's spinning. This one here doesn't have too bad of a wobble. This used to be really bad. So this one's not too bad. What happened with me though, I cleared out too much material here, so it's actually slipping. It doesn't stay on that shaft. I could fix that by just putting a little bit of fine debris in there, a little bit of powder or anything, whatever, just to kind of clump it up a bit and make it go in there. I could just heat this again and just kind of pinch it a little bit here, just enough so that when I drop it in, it'll snug on that and won't move. So it's not hard. It only takes a few seconds to do. The only thing is, whatever you do, don't heat it too long, because the tube will get hot, and this stem is pretty thick, so it could take the heat, but it will begin to affect it. And if you bend it, if you kink it, it's pretty well done. If you kink it, pinch it, or if you leave it on, it's going to melt. So whatever you do, and don't heat it up so fast either. Just take your time and just gradually keep applying the heat. Come off it, keep applying the heat, and it'll build up the heat. And make sure you spread that heat all over the tube. If you leave your solder iron in one area, well, that area is going to get real hot, while the other area of the tube is going to start heating up. But by that time, this part here, you're going to have a major meltdown in your plastic inside this tube. So make sure you just kind of take your time with it, spread it out, just go back and forth over it. And once it's done, once you get the heat then, and you got it centered, take your iron away from it, and make sure that you can slip it off real quick and sit it right away and let it cool. And that should basically fix your dome. I did it with this one, and this one turned out really well. And this was the one that I thought I'm talking here and you can't see it, but this is the one I thought I was going to trash, and I managed to save it, and it's worked out just fine. So just a little tip. Let's pull back here. Just a little tip there on how you can fix these. Not a big deal, just takes a little bit of care, and it's not an arduous task. Not a lot of material required. 1/4 inch brass, you want more than enough to slip over that stem and fix it up. So that's basically it. So I'm coming along with this now. I'm quite happy the way it's come about. I got some minor mods. I'm not quite sure how to clean up the excess glue from the metal foil adhesive. It kind of got on the spinner's dome, and I want to get that cleaned up, but I'm not quite sure how to clean it up. If you guys got any suggestions there, it'd be awfully helpful, because I want to wrap this up and get on with the rest of the project. But other than that though, so right now the rest of the model is in the sink. Well, more or less in the drying basin of the sink. I washed it all down. It's currently being air dried and getting it all cleaned up. I got the rest of my light kit, and I've got my Paragraphics stuff. So I'm pretty much ready to roll on to the shuttle bay now. And once I get this figured out, get my dome, get my speed adjuster. Still got a lot of work to do, but I'm doing this in my spare time from every whenever I get the chance, and I think I'll just keep going with the videos. This is a first for me doing it this way. Normally on my channel, when I do videos, I'm just out fooling around with the RC models basically, and just having fun with them. But this is a new element for me, so I think I'll continue logging this build for my own personal learning experience from it, and just kind of add my 2 cents worth along with everybody else, and hopefully it helps out too, because everybody else's work is helping me out. And I would just want to thank the guys, Boyd and HDATX, Jason, Model Man Tom, Steve Neal's Garage. Those Bussards on his model are phenomenal. Simon Mark, who've been following his builds, and of course Trek Modeler, and you know, all the other guys, and the Sci-Fi Action channel. Yeah, definitely get onto that. That's a great channel as well. And I've got more projects to do, but I figured once I get the original series model done, I'd like to get the classic. What am I saying? The refit. It's still classic. It was just a refit. Get that model started too. So I'm following Boyd on that one. A lot of guys got that one built. So there's a lot of people to watch their videos and learn from them, and get back into the plastics. Been out of it for a long time, and you know, building RC battleships for combat is one thing. You don't have to detail them as much, although I do, but my details get shot off a lot. But this is something like everybody else I'm really tickled pink about, and all the great stuff that's out there now. So if you guys have any questions or anything, certainly you can post into my channel, and I'm doing the same with everybody else. And thanks guys for your patience. I may drive you nuts with the questions, but it's a little intimidating seeing all this fantastic model work. But hey, I'm just getting back into it. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off now, and just want to show what I got done. I like it, and hope you do too. And if not, well, that's okay. Really, when you're building models, it's for your own pleasure. You like to please everybody, but it's really for your own personal taste and pleasure. So, you know, as long as you're happy, that's the main thing. And there we go. So, again, rhinestones. Remember with the rhinestones, there is a film that they sit on. You can peel it off this black paper that's underneath it. And I'm wondering if these things would be good to line the inner wall of the shuttle bay near the tail end. I know Trekworks had to gouge out the plastic there. Some guys are trying to use larger bulbs in that area because they're not getting enough reflective light in that section for those few portholes in the back. You know what? I'm going to tinker with that. I'm going to put a cluster of these on the bulkhead, and test it out when I get to that stage and see how well that actually reflects the light. And I may be onto something here. I don't know, but we'll find out. Either way, definitely a good alternative. I can't get over the fact that these rhinestones are still twinkling here. Can you see that? You see it there? There you go. Yeah. I had to thank my wife for that idea. I did not come up with it. She did. Alright guys, so I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to enjoy my Tim Hortons coffee. Can't model without it. And we'll see you back on the channel. I'll come up with part 2 of this installment, which I don't even have a name for yet. Anyway, take care guys. We shall see you again.